Hi everyone, it's John from the High Peaks and Sore Seats Charity Challenge team. So this post we're going to be explaining to you the actual challenge that's going to be taking place in 2018, going through each segment and each day to give you an idea of exactly what we're going to be doing. So day one is a bike section first, and we're going to be travelling from Holyhead, starting with our bikes in the sea, travelling across Anglesey via the A5 road, then cutting over the Menai Bridge and starting our ascent then up into the mountains and heading towards the Llanberis path. So this section is roughly 60 kilometres. We're aiming to do this in around 2.5–3 hours, about 600 metres of ascent and about 300 metres of descent. So should be done hopefully by about 10 o'clock in the morning on the first day. And we arrive then at the Llanberis path, Pen-y-Pass car park at the foot of Snowdon, and progress our way then up through the ridges, as you can see, on the north side of Craigfach, then on the south side of Cribgoch, and then straight up to the peak of Snowdon. So this segment is 7 kilometres up and 7 kilometres back down. We're hoping to do this in around about 4 hours, both up and down, and a short break at the top, obviously, just to take some photos, etc. And also we've input time for us to transition between our bike kit and our hiking kit, because obviously we'll be walking up Snowdon rather than staying on the road bikes. So once we get back down from Snowdon back to the Pen-y-Pass car park, we'll be having a little break to refuel and get changed. Then travelling south down through Snowdonia National Parks, firstly via the A4985 and then the A4085 and going through Bedd Gelert, which is the place where legend says is the resting place of Gelert, the faithful hound of the Welsh Prince Llewellyn the Great. Then travelling down via the A470 through Snowdonia National Park and Coed Brenin Forest Park. So this stint is around 67 kilometres to end the day, and we're looking to sort of do that between about 3 and 6 o'clock in the afternoon. There's not a lot of ascent and descent, just 350 metres up and 700 down, so hopefully that'll be really nice for the end of the day. And obviously they'll be refueling again and getting our heads down and getting prepared for day two. Okay, so day two starts in Dolgellau, a fairly short section of just 11 kilometres round to the Dol Idris car park, which is the start of the Minffordd path of the ascent of Cadu Idris. So obviously we're changing from our bike gear into the hiking and ascending Cadu Idris. You walk up through the forest, up onto Craig Lloyd, round the ridge and overlooking the lake in the bottom, up Craig Cwm Amach, and then up to the summit of Cadu Idris then. So this section we're looking to sort of be done by around about 12 o'clock, so done in around about 4 hours, and then on to the biggest section of the trip then. Okay, so as you can see, the next section from Cadu Idris down to Carmarthen is one of the biggest of the whole trip, coming in at 137 kilometres. We're going to take around about 7 or 8 hours hopefully to do this. There's about 1,500 metres of ascent and descent along the way. The first segment is down from Cader, down from Snowdonia National Park down to Machynlleth via the A487. Once we get past Machynlleth, then we'll head west down towards the coast, down through Borth and then all the way down to Aberystwyth. Once we come through Aberystwyth, we'll head back inland on the A485, and we'll take in Tregaron, down through Llandewi Brefi, Lampeter, Lambeida, and then finally down to Carmarthen. So we're hoping to be finished by about 7:30 p.m. With it being the biggest day, 160 kilometres, you know, we'll be getting our heads down, getting some food, and getting some rest ready for day three. Okay, so day three is the shortest overall day, coming in at just 116 kilometres. The first segment takes us from Carmarthen to Brecon. We're going to the Story Arms. This is about 72k, and we start basically on quieter roads the B4300, going to Llanarthy, and we go up past Dinnerford Castle and up past this reservoir to Tree Castle. From there we join onto the A40 briefly, and then at Senny Bridge we hang a right onto the A4067 that will take us up to the Story Arms. Obviously then we'll get off the bikes, get changed and get ready for the hike up to Pen y Fan. Okay, so the hike section on day 3 is the only one where we'll be leaving the bikes and not returning back to them, but picking them up at a point further on. Starting at Story Arms, Brecon, and walking up to Corndy and Pen y Fan, then on to Crib Inn and down to the upper and lower Newarth reservoirs. As you can see, we walk first over the hump up the peak, hit Corndy and Pen y Fan quite quickly, then across to Crib Inn. Then we'll follow that ridge down past the upper and lower Newarth reservoirs, where we'll meet the support team. We'll have the bikes for us and we'll be able to jump back on them, get changed, and away to go there in the last section where we can head home. So that final hiking segment is about 9.5 kilometers, and we're hoping to complete in about 3.5 hours. So we'll be finished, you know, around about 1:30, 2 o'clock. So the final section is quite a short one, about 34 kilometers, and road that we will have ridden on quite often. This is quite close to home. Picking the bikes up at the reservoirs and coming up through Abercarnarvon, past the Talabont reservoir, up to Talabont on Usk, round to Llangynnida, and then up and over the moors, which is quite a pull, and it's going to be quite tough after 3 days of hiking and cycling. But I'm sure once we get to Ebbw we'll enjoy a well-earned beer and a rest. So that's the overview of the challenge. That's the end of day 3. And in total, just to give you some idea of everything we're going to be doing, it's about 416 kilometers, 258.5 miles for those who work in miles still, with a total of just over 4,000 meters of climbing and just under 4,000 meters of descent. Remember, this is for charity, guys, so please donate and give us any feedback. We hope you enjoy. Bye.